Wow, would you look at that? There it is, the trophy for Forge of Champions. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the grand finals of Forge of Champions. My name is Hiprain. I am joined by Orcs and Chronicler for our final day of action here with UK League of Legends.
Yep, very hyped. Got 3 teams left still in it.
I can touch the trophy. But
No,
sure?
not without glove.
Can I?
I've been told not to put it. There's gloves there. Go take the glove.
Okay.
Pass me one.
I know what you're gonna do. I know what you're gonna do.
So I can
He's not
touch it
gonna
now,
kick
right?
it. I'll tell you that much.
Got the glove. It feels like
Yeah,
victory,
glove on.
Jake.
I have a glove on. Apparently I'm fine, guys.
All right, off you go. See you later, mate.
Goodbye.
All right, well, it's just me and
That's
Chronicler for the
the end of
finals
that.
today.
You know what? Since I'm fired, I'll just stay. They can't. They'll have to drag me out.
I mean, that was, yeah, speak glove there. There you go.
It is a beautiful trophy, though. Like
It is a
all
very
jokes
good
aside.
trophy, and we've had lots of teams playing out. We had the open bracket leading up to the close bracket where we had our lower and upper stages where you have to take on the teams who were in the lower seeds coming out of the UKLC and then the teams who were in that higher seeds coming out of the UKLC. So we'll bring the bracket up right now and then you can have a little look at how that later stage of Forge of Champions panned out, because the open stage, it was manic. There were so many teams, I don't have a bracket for that, but we can bring up the actual bracket itself, hopefully. There it is. Cool. So you can see that lower bracket started with Darkspawn, Phelan, Bulldog, and Barrage from the UKLC taking on our open teams, EJBY Brotherhood, Envision Esports, Hybrid Esports, there we go, and looking for Org. The winner of those games went through to take on Diabolus, they went to take on Enclave, they went forward to take Excel UK, and they went to take on MNM Gaming. The winners of that were MNM and Diabolus, who've made it all the way here to this finals. But their run isn't over. They have a best of 3 coming up after this, which will be, well, after our opening as our first game of the day, and then they'll be coming on to take on Fnatic Rising in the grand final of Forge of Champions.
Ooh, spicy.
Who's going to be forged into champions, lads?
That's the big question. I feel like with how informed MNM have been, I think that I kind of gotta be worried for Diabolus. But it can go either way. I think that it's also, we've been a while since we've seen Fnatic, of course, because they've been kind of just waiting for everyone else, or they're chilling on the top of the tower. I kind of imagine it,
Yeah, I mean, they
climb
did
up
play in
slowly.
that other tournament.
Yeah, what was it again?
Masters or
Yeah, I
something?
mean, they made top 4. They played pretty well.
That's good, right?
Well, let's bring up the schedule, actually, so you guys can have, because we've got 2 finals coming up today, so maybe it wasn't quite clear on exactly what's going on. So we'll tell you what games are coming up as our day here. As you see, starting up the day with Diabolus versus MNM as our first best of 3. Then after that, we have Fnatic Rising taking on the winner of that best of 3.
There'll be some heated matchups. I think Diabolus, MNM, we've had some disagreements. MNM are on form. There is no doubt about that. Diabolus have looked a bit shaky, but if we look at what happened in the regular season of the UKLC, they had a matchup in the playoffs where it was 2-1 to Diabolus, but it was so close.
It was so close. Now, if you've missed any of the games here at Forge of Champions, can head over to our YouTube channel, LVP UK. We can watch back all of the previous VODs, not just from Forge of Champions. You can also watch the VODs from UKLC, which was our first major tournament here in the UK at the beginning of the year.
The last Forge of Champions, if you want to go back to where it all began.
All the way back. And also, if you want to get in touch, you haven't been talking to us over on social media, we do try to keep in touch with all of our fans. Head over to the Twitter at LVP UK. Use that hashtag Forge of Champions. We'll be surely asking you loads of questions across the day.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you're a fan of Hiprain, all 3 of you could get in touch with him and he will reply to you.
How many fans do you have, then?
A
Myriads.
lot more than 3.
Like
Legions.
legions.
Legions. There was cults.
They're the Orcs army.
That is...
Well, I'm not sure how many fans
really
will have after this opening segment.
Yeah.
When they see what prepared.
After you've been fired for touching the trophy,
Yeah, not
after
a really
flaming
good
other
start.
casters, you're not going to do too well. But guys, I did ask you a question yesterday about your houses and what one of the 4 houses from the mid-season ties you thought were going to be your top, who you were part of, and who you're kind of backing coming into this. Yesterday we actually brought up some teams and what houses we thought those teams belonged to. So we had Diabolus being in Faceless, we had MNM being in Warband, we had XL being in the Council, and then we had Phelan, there we go, into the United. Now, we've already shown you that. So we're going to ask where you think we should be placed. So first of all, I'm going to start up with Faceless. Out of all 4 of our casters here, who do you think belongs in Faceless?
Yes, obviously, Sand wasn't here, but we are going to include him in the ranking because he has
I
chosen
don't
the
think we
house.
should.
You know, well,
Who do you guys think is faceless? Who do you think is edgy enough for that? Let me tell you, it's me.
That was so cringe. All right.
It is me, though.
We'll move away from
I feel
the
so
cringe.
sorry for anyone in faceless.
I feel sorry for his girlfriend. Who's going to be in United is the next question. Out of us four, well, us three who are left, who do you think is going to be in faceless? United.
So we have Dan, who is literally an amazing support, and Jake, who maybe do you tilt, Jake?
I don't
Can
tilt.
you?
I never tilt. I am just the perfect summoner. I've got the strongest will here. I think it's me. I'm the one in United. That's the one we're replacing. So hopefully, bring my face up. Then we got Council. So out of all the casters,
Oh, I wonder who it is.
I just saw that. All right, well, spoiler, it's our big brain man, the dad, Scoundrel, is going to be our council member.
I wonder who that leaves. Who's in Warband? Who's the best player out of all four of us casters?
Ooh.
That's actually true.
Who's the ex-pro?
Choose your fighter.
God, the sound effects are so good. I think now we've gotten into back into full screen. Orcs, mate, you're looking at me very nervously because you prepped some dances, some signature moves for the
I
houses.
call them
coming
signature
into
moves.
this.
Okay, so which one you want first?
Well, we'll go in order, so we'll go faceless first.
Okay, this is the fit. I hope everyone is ready.
Stand back, by the way,
I hope everyone's
chronicler.
ready. So, that is my faceless pose.
All right, now do United.
Okay. United.
You normally shout United when you do that.
Yeah, I figured you can do it without the voice.
All right.
You can do it
Well, let's
with
see
the-
your council one.
Okay, council is the misty look, and then do you want the last one? The warband.
Yeah, warband.
Ha ha! There you go.
Well, there you go. Your cringe overload has been fulfilled. But we actually got a little gift actually from our friends over at Riot UK. Now there is a competition going on at the moment for your house ties. So they asked everyone to make some uniforms, no matter using whatever means you can. If you're good with paint, do it in paint. If you're good at dressing up, find a costume, dress up as your uniform for the house you belong to. Use that hashtag, I've got it written down here, mid-season ties, to be entered into a chance to win a box. So,
What box?
should we have a little look at these boxes?
Yeah, why not?
I'm going to take the United
Okay.
one.
I'll take Scoundrels as well, just
Oh,
because.
you're going to open it Scoundrels, are you?
Yeah, well, I'm 1v9. I can open two
So
boxes.
I'm first, so I can open mine first.
Yeah, go for
right?
it first.
Okay. So we've got a nice box here. Let's slide that right off. Shall I put them like?
We've actually
over
switched
here?
from being an esports channel
There
to
we
being
go.
a box opening
We're now
channel. We're an unboxing channel.
Oh, look at that.
Slowly open that.
It opens nicely.
There's a little message in there.
Oh, we got a little message. Shall I read the message? Thank you for taking part in the League of Legends UK mid-season trials competition.
Oh, did we? I didn't realize.
Yeah, I submitted your one, mate.
Oh,
By
nice.
representing your house in such spectacular fashion, you are now the owner of exclusive, never to be made again mid-season trial swag. So how about we take a look at that swag?
It's got the logo on the other side. That's real cool.
It does.
I like that. Look at
There
that.
we go. Open this first. Can you hold this for me?
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. It's not like you're not holding enough boxes already.
That's my talent. I'm Warband. We hold lots of boxes.
You carry everyone,
So,
man.
oh, yeah.
That's
Can
what you do.
Open it. Oh, my lord.
Look at that. That's actually really sick.
Look at that. That is quality right there.
What's underneath as well? There's a little bit more in there.
That's not the only thing. I'm gonna obviously
You're
we're
gonna put the tie
gonna
on?
put this on. Ooh, look at that.
Is that a sticker?
It's an iron-on sticker,
Ooh.
so you can iron this onto your favorite
Laptop.
jersey, jumper.
Oh,
I wouldn't iron your laptop, Jake, but yeah, if you want to go for that, you can as well.
took you a while.
Oh man,
Wow.
that's looking awesome. I'm gonna
You
take
still
this
got- have
tie
you not
and
got more?
turn it on.
Yeah, that's
That is.
Not, don't get greedy.
Yeah, I was
I was
saying.
very happy with
Right,
it.
Just double checking, there's a lot of
we'll speed
packaging.
through this next bit because obviously we got 3 boxes. So I'm just gonna. I was gonna lob that down there, but I actually want to treat it with respect. So this is obviously the United one here,
Oh man. This is some-
and I'm gonna put the box down there. I'm quite excited to see this United one. I'm not gonna lie.
This is
it
a
actually
Scoundrels
looks
one.
amazing.
Oh, look at that! And there's the old stickerino.
Let's open Scoundrels one.
You're opening a Scoundrels one.
It's the
gonna be real
council. Unfortunately, we don't have a council representative here. He thinks he's
That's
too big to
unfortunate.
be here.
sad. He thinks he's too big to be here.
Is that it? Right, don't worry, guys.
Do you know how to tie a tie?
I do.
Are you sure about
but
that, buddy?
It is hard because I also have a hoodie.
There's a badge.
Oh, there is a badge.
There's a badge as well?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there is.
You're right. I completely missed mine.
I knew there was something else. So yeah, there's a little badge.
There you go. Look at that.
That's the council one.
So,
I'm going to put this
It's
down.
not tied very well, but you know,
I mean,
This isn't my house.
best you can do about
make
shit.
it work. Short notice.
I've completely butchered this tie. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Completely butchered the tie. There we go.
It's not looking too
I'm
bad.
liking it. Oh, I've got a badge.
Here we go.
Look at that.
Unbelievable. These ties are like actually really nice though. Like they feel good as well.
There we go. This is Warband,
Yep, the cool kids.
the cool kids.
The ones
The
who are actually good
winners.
at the game, yeah.
The,
Oh, my badge! No!
He lost the badge.
It's taken off.
I think we lost Ox.
I mean, you do your tie real short. That's actually like true schoolboy. You know, when you used to have your tie real short, and then people would peanut as well. Don't get any ideas.
Actually, I never wore a school uniform. You know that's not a thing
Really?
outside of the UK, right? No.
I thought most places did that.
No?
Wow, I knew America weren't particularly big on their school uniforms. A lot of American schools, what we call mufti. Do you remember mufti days? Mufti days where you got to wear your own clothes to school for the day.
That was
Orcs
every day
is
for me.
really struggling.
I think it was too thick. I put it too thick. I don't know why I put it through here.
What are you doing?
I got it.
Put your bloody tie on, man, so we can get on with this. Let's get on with this show, man. We've got so much. We've got two best
so
of
many
threes,
games.
and Orcs can't put his tie on or a badge on. It is the mid-season ties. So, yes, if you guys want to be in chance of winning one of these ties, the badge, the Ion on sticker, make sure you do make yourself a costume. So, you, like I said, Photoshop, paint, dress up, do it how you want. And use that hashtag mid-season ties to be in with a chance to get your hands onto one of these lovely boxes. As you are rubbing it right on your mic, so just
There we go.
it's real loud.
All looking dapper.
Put your tie sideways so it doesn't hit your mic. There you go.
That's great luck.
There
It's
you go.
like a scarf now.
All right, let's shift our attention away from the ties, from all of the fun we're having right now, and look towards our game. That didn't sound like it's having a lot of fun there. Let's shift our attention towards our first matchup of the day, which is going to be Diabolus versus MNM in our first final of Forge of Champions, to find out who will be going into the grand final to take on our Tower Champions, Fnatic Rising. So we've looked at these teams across all of the previous few days and last week as well. And what are our takeaways? What are we expecting coming into this best of three?
Well, I think MNM are on form. That goes without saying. They've had a really great performance up to here. 2-0s constantly from when they entered the tournament in Forge of Champions. So
Haven't dropped a game.
Have not dropped a game yet. And going up against XL, who, although they had a disappointing split, they were the only team to take a game of Fnatic in the playoffs. So we expected more from XL, but MNM really delivered. And I think going into this matchup, despite Diabolus' great run in the regular season, the UKLC, I think MNM are the favourites for me.
I kind of got to agree with you there. It's more about the momentum because while we saw that as we already are going to get into pick and ban here, we saw the Diabolus were able to pick up the wins. They didn't look nearly as convincing to me, and that's something that really scares me. If a team like MNM can look so convincing against a team which we know can perform as well as Excel, that to me says, we know the Diabolus have some really good individual up. I think Kerberos is usually a highlight in when you look at the play. Yusa and Hado can really pop off. But can you do that against a team which is so good at punishing a kind of a relaxed early game? And I don't feel like Diabolus are a team that really plays for early.
Yeah. And that's the key thing is the meta at the moment is all about these pre-14-minute plates and getting as much additional gold into your carries as possible. You saw MNM in all of the games they've played so far here at Forge of Champions. They've played to just funnel so much gold into Monk to get him fed. He's always been getting these first turret bloods. Pre-14 minutes, he's getting all of the gold available. And a lot of the time, he even solo gets that kind of final first turret blood. So he gets all that additional gold injected into him. And I look at Yusa and Hado, and I think so far in Forge of Champions, these two haven't performed quite to the same level that Monk and Shogun are putting up. But I do look towards the jungle, because that's the key thing. There have been questions about Nolty's early game coming into Forge. Now, so far, he's been pretty consistent. He's done pretty well. He's not been that kind of at least level 2 getting caught out and blown up. But Monk is still one of the top performing junglers here in the UK. So coming into this game, I'm going to be watching this jungle matchup between Nolty and Monk because the attention shifted. We're not on these level 2 junglers. You don't really get crab until you're level 3 now, unless you're very, very slow at farming.
Yeah.
And we do see the Hecarim come in. So this was what MNM won with game 1, was banned away game 2. Nolty had a great performance, but also it is a flex pick. They can put it in the top lane for Mummis. And just to look at the bans, we do see the Kindred getting banned away, pretty unexpected. Yorick, which was played in game 3 by Diabolus yesterday, taking off the cards. And then Aurelia, Carly, which are such great picks for MNM.
I also love the pickup from the Tristana here, because you're not only picking up for Yusa, but more importantly, you're taking it away from Monk, as we saw yesterday, that once he gets out on the Tristana, he is so overbearing. Like, he will not care about the rest of your team. Even though I felt like at one point in time, Excel run into the exact same situation 3 times, where Monk, he just found someone in side lane, jumped on top of them, and killed them in exactly the same fashion. And you're just looking at it, you're like, well, there's got to be a way to neutralize this, but instead Diabolus said, we're not even going to try, we're not going to bother with that, and taking away the Rise, a really strong power pick, and the fact that you can kind of flex it as well, although I do expect it to go to Kerberos here.
I mean, that's the big thing. He had 2 games on Rise, and even though they lost one of them, he was such a strong performer, just outplayed Aragon, to be honest, was ahead in CS and pressure. And then crucially as well, it's a great early pickup because it works as a flex. We do see though the Braum picked up for Shogun, which means I don't expect to have quite as much pressure as they did yesterday up against Mystiques and Inax, but quickly locking in that Kai'Sa, so that's a pretty strong bot lane for them. And the passive synergize so well, because once you apply the Braum passive, it's very easy to follow up with that Kai'Sa passive.
Yeah, you can stack up so much damage. It's very bursty in this bot lane. I do want to kind of go a little bit back to that Rise, because we saw MNM yesterday versus XL just ban it away in both games. They didn't want to let XL get their hands on it. They've shown that the Rise isn't actually quite as high priority to them as it is to some of these other teams. And Curb looks so good on that. Now that's going to be the Nautilus pick here for Diabolus, a flex pick. Could go into the mid lane, could go into that bot lane. We've even seen it in jungle here
or the top
in
lane
Forge
as
Champions. So yeah, exactly.
It can go basically
It's been everywhere but AD carry so far.
I feel like with
so far,
just full
mid lane
AP
Trist.
bot lane. Yeah, actually, no. I think that the Nautilus, especially with the 9.9 changes, also is a little bit more viable to jungle, like you said. It's not really about getting those early scuttles as they don't spawn. You have to wait till minute 3:15, and that means that junglers like Nautilus, who really suffer from the early clear, have a little bit more breathing room, and based on the pathing, have a much bigger chance of not getting double scuttled, meaning that you don't fall as far behind early. So even though I don't expect it to be that, I think that we're going to see it swap to Hado. I wouldn't mind it as much as I feel like on the previous patches, because his clear speed early, even with all the Sunderal buffs, it takes so long for you to actually get there. So also see the Orianna taken away from Croxon. I can't be surprised.
Yeah, something he did play a lot yesterday, and then Diabolus banning Olaf and Aatrox, and that's just testament to the fact that we don't know where this Hecarim is going. It could go jungle on top, and it's working well as a flex because you're limited into what you can ban away. On the other side though, MNM are just focusing out the mid lane, confident that yes, the Nautilus has been picked, yes, the Rise has been picked, but they don't think it's going mid. And they're concerned about what Croxon played yesterday, which was the Zillion and the Orianna, and it was very problematic.
Alrighty, well, it looks like we're looking towards the jungle here for Diabolus as they're thinking about what they want to put Monkeys on. Remember, we are onto that level 3, so Jarvan has slipped a little bit down in the priority, but he still provides strong engage with the Cataclysm. He still has that flag and drag, he has that gap closer. You kind of combine that up with the Nautilus as well. There is a lot of engage that Diabolus have put together here.
I'm just going to come and say it. I'm quite close with Nolty and asked him for his opinion on some junglers. He said flat out he thinks Jarvan is just dead in the water right now in the jungle. And it's interesting that Monkeys has picked it against him because he got some nerfs in this patch. It's 9-9, so he's a level 2 jungler who isn't as good at level 3 anymore, especially with the nerfs to his W. And he's just not as strong in this patch, and yet Monkeys felt he's still willing to pick him here. So it's going to be interesting to see if he ends up getting punished for that pickup.
Alrighty, well, it's going to be the Zoe picked up here for Chibs in his lane, the mid lane, but we saw it yesterday. Mummis' on-hit Kennen could be what he decides to go for here.
On-hit Kennen?
I heard it, Faithless. Do you think this is going to be AP, or do you think it's going to be the...
Well, that's the great thing about Kennen is that you have the flexibility. You can wait and see what is put up into the top lane, because if Kerberos wants to go something like the Vladimir now, which he's done before, the Kennen you would go on hit. Up against the Rise, you can go the AP Kennen and do fine in the lane and just offer that utility later on. And I've actually seen the Malzahar come out here.
Been a while since I've seen that one. Obviously, Zoe Portal jumps in forward. You just pin it down with the ulti. You also do have to keep in mind that you have the shield as well, the spell shield, so you can jump, block out the bubble.
You look at Diabolus' composition, and it's just absolute lockdown, which is going to work so great against Monk, trying to make those big plays on Kai'Sa, because I mean, we can compliment Monk all we want for his aggressive play, but he is definitely over-aggressive at times. And if he jumps in, it's pretty obvious he's going to get shut down by a Nautilus Assault or a Malzahar, or even just a Rise route is going to be enough to take him off the table.
Alrighty, well, team comes around out, definitely going to be that Nautilus in the bot lane, so I'm going to ask you guys for a little bit of win conditions coming into this game. So first of all, I'm going to start with you, Orcs. What do MNM need to do to pull this game ahead? How do they take this game 1 of the series?
I think they just want to get Nulty in a position where he can get ahead of Monkeys. I don't think it's going to be too hard. Hecarim's great here. And then just set up ganks. There's so much easy setup in the top lane and the bot lane because you have the immobile Rise, you have the Braum Kai'Sa who can follow up. But initially, you want to get pressure around mid lane because if Zoe can take over the game, she'll just murder everyone.
Yeah, just gotta completely follow you there. I think that something that really scares me though for MNM, if you look at Diabolus, is that, as you say, the amount of lockdown available means that even if they do get an advantage, which with this composition, we'd be surprised if they do, it is so hard for anyone to make plays, right? Because there's also the Hecarim, if he goes a little bit in too deep, which, I mean, with Onslaught of Shadows, you can be tempted to, and the follow-up isn't really there immediately. It's really easy for them to either throw a depth charge down or just have someone in front of you, throw them the Nether Grasp, and then you just stand there and kind of get taken down slowly, get bursted down, and we also need to talk about Yusa because, like you said, I feel like he hasn't had the greatest of performances. We have seen if a Tristana can get ahead, especially with the amount of upfront CC and frontline that you have available here, I think it's going to be really scary for MNM.
Yeah, I think my just concern is that Malzahar Jarvan is great if you get ahead, but if they fall behind, it's kind of not that impactful. Yes, they'll have to buy a QSS against Malzahar, but once they do, you offer nothing else. Yeah. You are there for that CC, your damage is limited. If you're behind, you won't do that much anyway, so...
And that's the key thing coming into this game, because if you get ahead, that is what you were talking about. If the Malzahar and the Jarvan fall behind to MNM, it's going to be risky. And MNM, one of the best teams here in Forge of Champions at playing this early game, at playing for the plate gold that they can get. And that's my concern, is will they fall behind as we head onto Summoner's Rift for our first game here for the finals. Orcs, we're going to say goodbye to you. Bye.
Bye, Orcs. It was a pleasure having you. As he walks off into the sunset. Still dancing.
Yeah, he's just practicing his new dances now.
Oh, look! Diabolus and MNM are following as Croxon and the Chips have a little dance off in the mid lane themselves.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna take my tie off. It is kind of itchy when you don't have it's just a bare tie on your neck.
You're definitely not a true rapper, Jake. You don't rap your house as well as you should. Gonna give you a little bit of shade for that.
You know, we're out of school now. Take your uniform off.
I never did. Like I said, it feels.
When you
finish
school,
new.
When you finish school, you take your uniform off. You get dressed into something, you know, more casual, more comfortable. School uniforms, man, they weren't the most comfortable things in the world.
They don't look like it.
No.
So I can kind of understand. It's really interesting though, because like you said, like I can't imagine having days where it feels like, you know, you can wear your normal clothes, because that's what always happened. Yeah. That's every single day. You kind of want to start red with the new jungle in 9.9 just so you can get that clear going and then make sure that you mirror your opponent. Although I do feel like Monkeys shouldn't be too sad if he matches an ulti in a 1v1, especially early on. I think that as time progresses, it's going to get more and more difficult for him to really get anything going. But he's going to go for his Raptors now, and like I said, I think the junglers are going to be the ones to watch here. With the Ghost available for Naughty means that for setting up for ganks, it's going to be really good. But if he ever gets caught by Monkeys, which with the current pathing isn't looking to be likely, but if it ever happens, there's just no immediate form of displacement for him. That's something that, against the Jarvan, and with the amount of setup available with the Rise, with the Malzahar, with the Nautilus, can be really tricky to play into.
Well, they've got the pressure here in the bot lane for the moment from Hado and Yusa. Monk and Shogun playing with respect. Even though they do have a very powerful level 1, you just got to respect the CC that the Nautilus can offer. The auto-attack route, the grab, and now level 2's been hit by both of these bot laners, so now with that stand behind me, or maybe the wall put up by Shogun, they're going to feel a little bit more comfortable. As Yusa doesn't take the bad end of a trade there in this bot lane. And the door is sealed. Actually, Mumus is going for the Spellbook. So not opting in for the pressy attack like we saw yesterday when it was the full-on hit cannon. Maybe just into the fact that he knows he's into the Rise. He's not going to kind of get that free poke like it was on the Vladimir.
Definitely not. And I also feel within this team composition, I don't really mind it. I think that with the Kai'Sa and with the Hecarim, you're still going to have enough AP or AD damage rather that they need to itemize for that. You can't afford to discourage that. So going too heavy into AD there wouldn't really get you anything in terms of a straight up matchup, like you said. No harassment available. Rune Prisons comes down the moment that you step too far forward and try to go for some greedy autos. See, Monk is pathing towards the red here, but that's already been taken.
Yeah, Nolte will be spotted on a ward, so Diabolus actually walk away now with knowledge about where everybody is on the side of MNM, but Monkeys hasn't actually been spotted by that Tribrush ward, so he's still technically in the dark. MNM not aware, but they are playing back. They're respecting the fact that they know that their jungle is invading, so there's a good chance that maybe they've got Monkeys hanging about in that bot lane.
Indeed, because, you know, with how far Nolte has gone into his opponent's jungle, with the fact that you know that they have mirrored paths, you don't know that Monk is here, but still they stand so far forward, Jake.
Yeah, well, Monk's actually going to take a lot of that damage as Shogun gets knocked up. The concussive blows looking to stack up onto multiple members, and Yusa actually takes some serious damage here. MNM 2v3, turn it around.
And it's because Shogun, the moment that he got tagged out, immediately put up the Unbreakable, and there was no possibility for Hado or Yusa to kind of get behind him and evade that shield. So now a lot invested, and the only thing that we see used there is the Ignite and the heal, whereas we see the Flash also used by Monk, so his offensive pressure is going to be a little bit lower. I also like to draw attention to the fact that Monk has gone for a Hail of Blades Kai'Sa here. So he's really looking to ramp up the aggression, like you said, synergize with the Braum passive, making sure you can proc those concussive blows faster. And in terms of laning dominance, I don't mind that at all.
I mean, Kai'Sa's been kind of an interesting champion because of the fact that she's got quite a wide variety of runes that she can take. The Hail of Blades has... It's been one that a lot of these Kai'Sas have been opting into. Some people going for the fleet footwork because they want to go for the Stormrazor heal as much as possible. And then some just, you know, they opt in to the lethal tempo, the press the attack. There's lots of options available to a Kai'Sa where you say he's gone for the lethal tempo, wants to stack up those explosive charges as quick as possible. You do sometimes see the fleet footwork, but it feels like both of these laners are recognizing that they're in very aggressive supports. So they're not going to be getting poked out. It's not like you're into a Zyra or, you know, a support who's going to wither you down and you slowly, without fleet footwork, just get choked out of the lane because your health bar is getting smaller and smaller. They know that when the fights start, they're going to be all-ins. So you want as much ramp-up damage as possible. You want that quick explosive burst. So that's why they're opting into these keystones. And like you said, the Hail of Blades allows you to stack up both your Void stacks. It allows you to stack up the concussive blows as well.
Yeah.
It just kind of goes hand in hand with each other. As Nolte, we're going to take away this first one of the solo spawning crabs. So he's closing in on that level 6 mark, and we'll have to see where his attention's going to go, because we've seen one gank from Monkeys so far. Didn't work out this time round, and he expended a flash as well to try and make that gank happen.
And we saw earlier on the fact that he's already exposed his flash means that the flash EQ combo is not available to him, which means that he needs to be a little bit more tricky or really needs to find someone who's overextended. And I want to also draw attention to Chips here, going for the Ignite as Mummus goes in.
Actually just finds Kerberos, starting to stack up everything onto him. The Rune Prison comes down, and Kerb with the phase rush makes his way out to safety, but Kerb loses a lot of HP just to phase check into Mummus.
Mummus just wanted to back, man. He just wanted to be left alone.
And keep in mind that Kerb has already based and TP'd back to lane. He's now just lost half his HP, and he's going to have to use his refillable potion stacks to stay relevant in the lane.
Look at his mana. He's already out just trying to fight this early on as Rise. And Monkeys is in the area. If he can find the gank, it would make it really easy. But Nolte's positioning is crisp here. He's waiting there for the counter gank.
He doesn't have that ulti available yet, but Monk is looking to come in. As you see Nolte charging in, the flag and drag comes out, and Mummus flashes forward. The unstoppable onslaught is there, and Kerb is low. Mummus stuns him up. One more auto attack, and he finds first blood.
Amazing play there by Mummus. I don't think he's going to get out of here. Nice teleport there by Croxon. And maybe he can look for the execute, can take the blast cone out as well.
Monkeys can just chase him down, spots him out with the flag and drag.
Has
Monkeys
no flash!
is trying to get him there, and the execute comes down! Mummus with the outplay.
Really, really clean that, and once again a fighter into the mid lane. The Cataclysm is available. There comes the Snap across Visions.
Oh, you see they actually missed out. Chips has a flash to work with. He's trying to get the damage onto Croxon. Doesn't have more to go down. The Ignite's taken, and Croxon lives.
And it's constant skirmishes here, and in the end, they finally get the punish there. A little bit over-eager. We see Naughty immediately getting tagged by the Malzahar ultimate. Can't really do anything about it. Gets 100-0 real quick. And also, I wanted to talk about this Chips. With the Ignite, you have a lot more kill pressure on the Malzahar who's running Teleport, but it does mean that even though he wasn't targeted here, without the cleanse available, the setups for these ganks are going to be so easy because every single time that Croxon has his ultimate available, the only thing that Monkus needs to do is just run into that lane, use his flag and drag, and you got a kill. So I want to see Chips play really, really defensively, respecting that as Naughty charges in.
Yeah, he sends him back with the E. Crogson's low HP, and Naughty looks to take him down. Overextension by Crogson in the mid lane will cost him his life as Naughty just picking up free kills.
Really nice there, procs the spell shield with the Rampage. As we take another look at this fight here, and we see that the devastating charge there from Naughty gets cancelled. He is able to find the onslaught of shadows just to make sure that Monkus stays away. And the fact that Monkus isn't level 6 here yet is huge because a Cataclysm would have made this fight so much easier. But instead, Mummus just immediately realized what he needs to do, goes for the execute and finds it. And this is what I kind of dislike, is that they are greedy enough to go for that here, knowing that Monkus is there, because they know that engagement is coming.
Bubble goes completely wide, and he stands inside the Netherrealm as well from the ulti, so just take a lot of free damage inside the Cataclysm and just cost them so much in that play. But good turnaround there for... It do turn it around because Nolty's able to find himself the kill. Meanwhile, Haddo getting engaged onto here. The bubble going to force the flash out by Haddo, and used to running away. They've already used that killer instinct by Monk.
And we also see that what was happening, the Cloud Dragon is taken here by MNM, meaning that the rotation is going to come through a little bit faster. I kind of love it here as well because with the Hacker every single bit of movement speed just scales so much better than it normally does. Of course, we're talking about inches here, but it's still something that can get you that little bit faster. This is what we're talking about.
The full combo onto Chips. He's going to use that Zhonya's as a slow, but it's not going to be enough as they take him down. Monkus secures the kill. Actually, Crogson, sorry, secures the kill, but like you said, if you fall behind, you're useless, but if you get ahead, you have so much pick potential on this team. And Mummus looking to try and get something onto Curve. He does have that Slicing Maelstrom, but no flash available. Monkus gets spotted out on the control ward. Mummus just going to step away.
And like I said, you don't have cleanse. You can't afford to step forward because even with vision, the suppression from the Malzahar ultimate is so long that Monkus, if he's even slightly close, he can just find... There's nothing you can do. There's no counterplay available to that. And now Malzahar is slowly getting fed. And if, like you said, if he gets ahead, if he can find this combination with Monkus, if they can burst down a single target every time in a team fight.
Naughty has R. Pop that Ghost. He's going onto Curve. Gets pinned in place and the Slicing Maelstrom comes down. Naughty finds the kill, being so proactive on the map here on this Hecarim.
With the Syndog finished, really tanky as Monkus once again. He's in the vicinity, but he can't actually find him. And I love that they take the opportunity to bully Kerberos here, because more often than not, you see the Rise getting kind of left alone to his own devices as Mummus now.
Flagged, dragged, knocked up, no Cataclysm, but they use that depth charge. He's trying to make his way out. The stun's connected now. Eustace chasing in. A Dredge line comes down and Haddo bops him with the Aftershock.
And there's no counterplay to that depth charge. As soon as it comes down, you know you're pretty much forfeit. Kill does go over to Haddo, meaning that if it went on you, on Monkus, you would have rather seen it, but you can't always decide. We see Monkus also going for a more aggressive Jarvan build here, picking up the Warriors Enchanters. It looks like it's going to be a Rift Herald trade for a lot of plates here in the bot side. We saw yesterday, MNM, they love to play for these plates. They love to play really aggressive. And if you can make that work, if they can find these plates again and get that gold lead rolling, it'd be really good. But they need to be careful because a single charge from Shelly can really even out that advantage, as this will now go over. The continuous push on the bot side, though, doesn't look like it's going to get helped anytime soon, because Kerberos, he's really not anywhere near hitting his power spike yet. And I think we're going to see the first turret of the game getting dropped here.
They might actually just try and see if they can find something onto Kerberos. Slows him down, gets that Void Seeker off, launches in, and Curve will be the focus. The concussive blows do stack up. The Ignite is on. They're looking for the kill as Curve will fall. And Monk picks up yet another kill, but Curve does turn it around with that tower shot. Now Crogson looks to try and get this damage on. They greeded instead of taking that first turret, but now the stuns connect here as Haddo will fall. Mummus is able to chase. You see in that bot lane, a kill comes down as Crogson finds a kill onto Monk. No first turret blood has been sacrificed yet, but you can now see that Monkus might be getting caught out here. The bubble doesn't quite find its mark, and Mummus on that flank. The paddle star, they're trying to chase in. Chips finds him with the Ignite, and now Mummus forces Monkeys' flash, but he flashes after him. He's going all the way to the kill. The Zhonya's is going to be used. They're using a teleport, the slicing maelstrom to pin him in place of the Cataclysm, but in comes Yusa. The buster shot into the root, and Mummus will fall. Yusa picks it up.
And this is the second time that we see MNM go for these really big, flashy, aggressive plays, but they're getting punished appropriately, just forcing the flash out of Monkeys. That should have been enough, but instead, Mummus not only goes after him, which is fine of itself, but then waits out the stopwatch, and that's not something you can afford. And the same goes for their bot lane, because instead of going so greedy for getting another kill on Kerberos and trying to shut him down, they give up first, or rather, they haven't taken the first turret yet, and with no one going to topside, I think they might lose it. They overextend into the range of a second turret tower. Hado already, or rather, Shogun already gets taken down, and then Croxy comes through for a single pickup, and now you're losing. Oh, they didn't get it in the end. And this was, you could have just gone for that first turret, and it would have been so much better for MNM here, as it would have snowballed your gold lead, but instead, and this is something that is also MNM, right? Because we know they're really good at this aggression, but sometimes they don't know when not to be aggressive. And I think this is a really good example of that, where they want to keep going, they want to keep finding these fights, and it kind of cost them a second Cloud Drake there, though. Like I said, I feel like with the comp dev, with the hacker in, it's not as mediocre as you usually see the Cloud Dragon.
I mean, the in-combat movement speed's really nice for them as well, as actually Silence into the Never Grasp onto Hado. He is just going to go down here. The Cloud Drake's on, and Monk takes a depth charge to the face. They throw out the bubble, and multiple members jump in as Monk jumps out of the unstoppable onslaught. They see Monk is low HP as Nolty's on that flank. The Void Seeker snipes out by Monk, and it's a 1-for-1 trade. MNM hold out for the pass.
Absolutely incredible. Naughty dives in and somehow gets out as well. I imagine that there was kind of a split call there where he wanted to go in for it, because he could have also just used Onslaught of Shadows over the wall. But with Chris Player, MNM not only pick up the second Cloud, but also somehow find a kill. Now, don't know if Naughty... Looks like in the end, the pony is going to be fast enough. We'll run away here. And this is really clean play from MNM after a couple of questionable decisions now.
Their team fighting's been very good across World of Champions.
It really
I'll
has
give you
been.
that. There has been more questionable plays than what we've seen previously. Maybe it's the fact that Diabolus are a team who are capable of punishing some of these maybe overextensions or silly misplays that MNM are putting down. You know, Shogun and Monk, it looks flashy because they're so aggressive, but it's also very punishable because of how aggressive they play. We're also seeing, if we start to take kind of stock of the builds coming up here, the Infinity Edge onto use with the Zeal. You look at the BF Sword double pickaxe, to me that screams that Monk's going for the IE into the Rageblade build. So typically it's a bit slower scaling, it's not that Storm Razor, you don't get the quick evolutions on both your E and your Q. But what it does mean is that when you hit that free item power spike, you do a lot of damage. Now, you do have to play for the free item power spike at that point, as he's now gone back, he's picked up that Infinity Edge, so next we'll be working towards that Rageblade.
And besides that, we almost have the Triforce finish on Naughty. That's such an insane power spike, and the Hackrim is already 60 CS up. They will give up the mid lane turret, and this is like kind of what we see in a nutshell from MNM. Individually, they all seem to be performing really well, but these macro plays really leave something to, you know, looking to improve in the second game, because just giving up a mid lane turret like that when it's not really necessary is not something that you can afford against a team like Diabolus. Now we see that the gold is fairly even here. I do feel like Croxon is in a really good position, but Monk he's also gone for an aggressive build. He's building towards a Guardian Angel now, just trying to make sure that once he dives on top of someone, they can actually kill him.
Oh no, Mummus may just have been caught out. He's got that Ghost, he's got that Slicing Maelstrom, throws it onto Yusa, gets a lot of damage off, but the charges are on. They flash forward to get the kill, and Mummus will fall here as he's making a break for it. Yusa has to flash to get the kill. A lot expended there to find that 2 flashes and a heal.
And this also opens up the map because they go so deep here that now it's Diabolus who are looking to lose a turret here. The re-engage flank is coming through, but Yusa is nowhere near the team as Shogun now joins up with the rest of them. And now it's Diabolus who kind of overchase, because it's nice that you get a kill on Mummus, but giving up so much on your Tristana, the heal and the flash, both exposed or both used there, whereas Mummus, you know, he's getting killed. That's unfortunate. They will pick up a turret in the end for their efforts though, so that's really nice. But the constant back and forth here, in the end, I think might favor MNM, because we see how well they can do in these kind of scrappy games. And if you look at split push pressure, something that Diabolus traditionally has excelled at, Kerberos now, he doesn't really have the lead that we saw him pick up in earlier games. He only just finished the Archangel Staff, not really nearing any of the bigger spikes that you're looking for with the Rise here. Whereas Mummus has the Gunblade, still no Triforce available for Naughty though. And I think that once we see that, we might see them go and hard commit to a team fight there. And Chips doesn't go for the cleanse, but I'm very grateful to see him go for an early Quicksilver Sash here.
This is going to be the thing for me as well I want to hit on is the QSS, because typically Monk is a very aggressive player. His build kind of shows that as well. He normally picks up a defensive item very late. And with the build he needs to get these 3 items as quick as possible before he starts to really take over on this Kai'Sa. So I wonder when or if we even see a QSS coming out of him. That is going to be the big point for me here, because once Monk gets that QSS, Krogston starts to fall into that realm of how strong is he going to be. As the silence gets thrown onto Krogston, they try to chase down, they throw him back, use that ulti, the silence comes down, Monk launches in and picks up the shutdown, as now Monk is running away. The flash out by Chips, as he does connect the bubble, flag and drag away. He's going to be nice and safe. But 1 quick kill picked up for MNM.
And you can't underestimate the engaged potential, especially in the side lane, if there's no Nautilus or no Jarvan to immediately help you or Rise with the Rune Prison. Because if Naughty sees you and you're standing alone, the devastating charge combined with the Onslaught of Shadows means you're just going to be locked down for so long that the follow-up damage is always going to be there. Not even regarding the fact that Naughty himself, with the challenging smite, and now with the Stinger also finished, is getting closer and closer, just instantly blowing someone up in a matter of seconds. And without Crocs in there, I think, especially in the current state, it's really hard for Diabolus to fight, because Yusa, he's looking good, but the rest of the team really not there in terms of items yet.
And Monk, off getting that big shutdown off Krogston, has now finished that Rage Blade. He's got double daggers in his inventory, so he is working towards what will either be the Phantom Dancer or what will be the Hurricane. Now, if he wants to go Hurricane, that's kind of showing that they want to be team fighting, they want to be getting as much AoE damage out as possible, but the PD does also give you that shield. It gives you so much defensive capabilities. Into a team that are looking to kind of single target, pick off people, the PD might not be a terrible item here.
Exactly, and it might just keep you alive for a split second longer, because I think that if you're really in this position, like Chips maybe here, he steps back, fortunately. If you step a little bit too far forward, that lifeline shield can just keep you alive for a little bit longer. Like if you get overextended, you get hit with a depth charge, and Crocston and Monkus find a way on you, it doesn't really matter. But you're looking for these fringe situations where it just might buy just extra seconds, because we know that if Monk is given a little bit of space in a team fight, he can already pop off. He still really needs to respect it though, because one killer instinct too far forward and he can get punished, and his positioning right now.
Yeah, I was about to say, look at the pings. They're looking to go in as Yusa actually might just get caught out. Monk launches in, Buster shot away to safety. Monk just assassinates Yusa. Now Shogun getting jumped onto by Krogston. They find the knock-up, they find the damage down, and he is going to be picked up. MNM pop off once again. 20 minutes on the clock, and they're turning their eyes towards this Baron.
An unfortunate series of events here, as not only does he find the kill, but he gets Buster shotted out afterwards. And that is the absolute worst of situations. He still has flash and heal available as they pick up the Nash here. He didn't even have to use those.
He didn't need anything. He just walked out of that nice and safe. 21 minutes on the clock. The team I highlighted for being so good at these early plays are playing 4 early as Hado is just melted by Monk. They're looking to take a mid lane turret here. They've got Baron buff to work with. Diabolus are being dismantled in game 1 by MNM.
And look at the jungle matchup here as well. Naughty, he's so incredibly far ahead. There's nothing that Monkus can do here. He can't really reliably threaten Monk unless the rest of the team is there to back him up. And now, if I look at Diabolus, the only thing...
Monk's just bought a Hurricane straight off that base.
Yeah, that's... and a Morello Nomicron as well. We finally see Naughty not only picking up the Triforce, but also the stopwatch, or even if he goes in a little bit too far with the Onslaught of Shadows, he can do so much damage with the Rampage, and then just stopwatch and sustain it all back on in a matter of seconds. And just the upfront damage for MNM is absolutely insane. And the team fighting also further aided by the fact that Monk, like you said, now is the Hurricane, so he's going to be stacking those stacks on the entirety of Diabolus. And Diabolus, it's all or nothing now, and I think you need to get an absolutely perfect front-to-back team fight where you can punish an overextension with the ultimate from Malzahar, then layer the follow-up CC, and just keep USAT alive.
Well, they're trying everything. The bubble does connect onto Krogston. That's just going to force out the spell shield. The turret will fall here. MNM get 2 turrets with this Baron already, and now they're looking to rotate around the map, see if they can crack open this last outer turret. Or inner turret, actually, because we've already done outers.
I mean, Outers have I've been going for a long time because that's actually something that MNM, while their aggression is looking as good as ever, it wasn't nearly as clean as versus their match yesterday, which is understandable because you're playing against Diabolus.
And I think we actually could take this chance to kind of sing the praises for how they've been playing from Diabolus, because what we've seen from a lot of players is no one really punishes MNM's aggressive early game where they play around these plates, where they play for this early plate gold. But every time there was a trade of objectives, Diabolus traded back as Monk steps forward. Yusa's getting chunked out by Chips here. Cataclysm lands out by Monk as they throw out the Glacial Fissure. Redemption to heal everybody up. Shogun now gets never grasped in. They are trying to get that assassination off, and they do find it. Diabolus turn it around. Just like I was saying, you know, MNM, they make some of these greedy over missed positions and they get punished.
He's the perfect comfort because there's so much you see. We keep coming back to this because it really is what's keeping Diabolus in this game as their base now starts to crumble and fall. Mummers wasn't anywhere near that, so he couldn't go for the engagement.
They throw it down. That's going to be the ulti out by Nolty to jump away. The health bars for Diabolus are starting to get low as they've lost a turret. Chibs, portal jumps forward. That Cataclysm slowly starting to work its way up here, but it's not going to be available quite yet. And MNM take a step back. They look to regen a little bit off that Ocean Drake they've got, and now they're looking for an inhib.
But I don't think you can, and this is something that actually means that don't be mistaken, the Diabolus are still very much into this game, because as we see there, if you step even an inch too far forward, you are going to get punished. And that's something that MNM are going to have to work around. Now, I feel like as Chips gets more items as well, because he was just working with the Luden Zako and the Oblivion Orb. Once he starts to stack up a little bit more, I think that their siege is going to be a little bit better when they can get more pick potential, because now it is really about upfront damage. They find someone and they blow them up. In a straight up team fight, I think they're going to be fine, but Diabolus, they're not really going to be looking for straight up team fights. It's just waiting for someone to try and get greedy through an objective and then take them down. And as MNM, you somehow need to crack the base, because if this keeps going on and on, I think you're going to start to reach a point where Yusa once again becomes inevitable, and then it becomes kind of a 50-50, whereas if they can ride this tempo wave and maintain it and push through, I think that we can see them close out this game on the back of one decisive team fight.
Bubble lands on. They do have that ball to jump available, but Hado chunks that out to make sure that he's not going to see Kerberos dripping a little bit too low, as now Hado takes even more damage. The bubble does connect. That's Mumus in with a free-man slicing Maelstrom. Kerberos jumps away and Monk launches into the fray. The Cataclysm comes down. Monk's found one. Two members of Diabolus have fallen down here. The Redemption's coming out, and Nolty gonna get healed up for the moment as Chips trying to find that damage down, but it's a triple kill picked up by Yusa. Monk looks to shut him down, chases into the tower, and Diabolus somehow hold on to the game.
And this is what I was talking about, Jake.
Look at the teleport.
They need to respect it. The engagement for Kerberos, he's looking for it.
Kerb is sprinting in, uses that realm ward to try and spot out members. Monk is waiting for the potential assassination onto him. He's on top of a ward, gets spotted out by the Q. In comes the damage, and Kerb may just be forfeit. He finds the kill on to Mumus, and Monk is having to run away. Spotted out by the Scryers, and Hado hot on his heels, hot after the chase here. Will get spotted out by the Scryers. Bloom, and Monk is running away, but Yusa is so desperate for that kill.
And all of a sudden, this game that was looking over and done with, because that was an amazing engagement by Mumus as he finds his way onto multiple members. But as long as Yusa is alive and it's the rest of the members who are tanking up, it doesn't really matter, because a single kill is enough to give the Tristana the reset on the explode or in the jump. She just jumps in repeatedly, and Yusa's positioning here comes up clutch, meaning that this has gone for a game where he was 2-1, with Diabolus' chance looking really bad to, wait a minute, our Tristana is now really fed, if you can just keep him alive. And this is also a problem that you do kind of run in with the composition that MNM has here. Sieging is just so hard for you. You don't have a long-range AD carry that can just stand safely back. You're always going to be kind of threatened. So what you need to do then is what we saw here. They need to find the engagement. They need to actually go in. But that in turn opens you up to the amazing team fighting capabilities of Diabolus. Now, MNM, they're still in the lead. The inhibitor has been taken down, and the Baron has just spawned. And it's still one good team fight away, because the middle road highway is open. Mumus has no teleport though.
Yeah, that's going to be the big thing here, but see, Shogun jumps over that wall towards to join up with the rest of his team, and Mumus now making his way back to join everybody. He's got a smite, so double smite's available to all of the members of MNM, and they're joining up the rest of the team. Monk now with his QSS, Chibs with a QSS. The options are starting to get harder and harder for Krogson, and this is what Orcs was talking about in Champs Select, saying, you know, if if you can't find these kills, if you do force out the QSS tax, that's the point where you do start to get a bit weaker. The hook by Hado goes a little bit wide. Waiting on bated breath here, as you can see, Mummus goes back towards that top lane. TP-less still.
That means that MNM, they are very good at trying to keep it in way, because the Zoe harassment is so dangerous here, because a single bubble can lead to an engagement. Without the slicing maelstrom, without the cannon, I wouldn't be surprised if Diabolus at least kind of want to threaten something here. Don't think they can actually start off the Baron, because Onslaught of Shadows combined with Monk's AoE damage and the slicing maelstrom, even Mummus does find his way over, it's always going to be a really big threat.
Mummus just flashed.
Until
Or am I missing something here? No, he's just flashed.
Oh, yeah.
Although he has got a smaller cooldown on that because of his
there we go.
unsealed. There you go. Who's switching spells? Okay, cool. So I may have got trolled a little bit there. Switching spells. I did think maybe something was awry there. But MNM
really
setting
weird.
up the death rush. Seeing if they can find a pick onto a key player.
Oh, Monk. Oh, Monk.
He's got that QSS.
I know, but even then, it never fails to scare me.
Game definitely playing slow as Nolty charging in. You see them jump away with a flag and drag as Monkeys takes a lot of damage. The bubble not going to find someone. And MNM, they want to find this pick. If they're in a 4v5, they'll feel more comfortable to go for this Baron, but they don't want to risk it quite yet. And Monk is standing on top of a ward. Bubble does connect onto Hado. The rest of the team maybe just looking to see if they can find some kind of a burst, some kind of a pick. But Diabolus not giving them that opportunity. Now a hook lands onto Shogun. They find themselves a route. Look for Nolty onto that flank though, as he's jumping away with the charge. Monkeys loses half his HP. Still got a GA to work with. And Diabolus actually just calling MNM out. They're running down the mid lane, but the bubble does find his mark onto one. They try to find that paddle star. That's going to be the hook, but it's not enough to find the damage as Monk will get pinned down and he's going to get blown up. But no, it's actually being turned around. The Nevergrass connects onto Mummus as a stopwatch gets used out. Nobody's done the fight as Nolty finds one. Slicing Maelstrom. It's a 2-for-1 fight in favor of MNM, but the Hellfire Yusa is resetting. Chips has to flash away. In comes the Realm Warp, and Chips has 3 members on top of him before he can do anything about it. Now he's running away from Kerberos underneath his turret towards safety. Does have that bubble to work with as he does connect. He gets the paddle star in. Kerberos is going to go down, but he finds the ace for his team.
The shield!
The shield is huge, and Diabolus come out on top of the fight, and
I think they can
just
end.
win the game right here, right now.
And an absolutely incredible team fight from Diabolus here. And we keep coming back to this. If the AD carry doesn't die, it doesn't really matter what happens besides that. Monk dies with Flash and QSS still available. And you simply can't afford that. And it was only a single team fight that Diabolus needed here. And incredible. And we started to see the point where MNM couldn't crack that inhibitor open on the first try. They kind of lost the tempo here. And one other big problem that it looked like they were having there, you saw that they were really looking for the engagements because they wanted to force something. But unlike something like a depth charge where you can commit with relative safety, or a Jarvan that goes in, because there was no GA available yet, or on the jungle, on the Hakarim, you can jump in, but you're going to get taken down, and your main form of engagement is going to be kind of running into them. And then you can't do that because with how fed Yusa was, he'd shred you in a matter of seconds. And Diabolus, what a turnaround here.
It was that range thing you were talking about. You popped it up there. I mean, like, Yusa just looks so good. He was untouched, and I did kind of in the back of my head have this series was going to be on the back of either Monk or it was going to be on the back of Yusa. And coming out of that game, Monk, he tried his hardest. He got so fed, but I think the key thing looking at how Diabolus played this series, well, this game, was they answered. Every time MNM took a tower, went for plates, on the other side of the map, Diabolus were matching them pace for pace, and that didn't allow MNM to play that snowball style with the gold lead like we normally see. So going into the phase where normally Monk is really fed and normally MNM are just really far ahead, they were relatively even to Diabolus, and Diabolus just went, okay, cool, we can stall a little bit, wait for Yusa to hit that like massive power spike over something like a Kai'Sa, and they were just able to take it to them in that one big team fight that mattered.
And then your lethal tempo Tristana with the front line of Dreams, right? With a Nautilus, with a Rise who gets incredibly tanky, and with the Jarvan who didn't even build a tanky, but just a GA and the engagement they provide was just enough. And also the Zoe pickup for Chips here, it felt to me like it didn't really do anything. And imagine something that can either punish more aggressively, that was able to get those mid-game picks that we're kind of looking for, or maybe the engagements, or you go the other end of and you go for something that can support Monk, because Monk, even though he got really fed, he was still kind of left to his own devices, not having that much peel available, because the hacker him just wants to dive in, the cannon just wants to dive in, meaning that you only have the Brom, and we saw there in the end, even with the flashing QSS still up, which is unfortunate, but that wasn't enough. I feel like the Zoe pick also not really working out. I'm hoping that we're going to see a switch up here, but what a first game here from Diabolus. Strong mental as well.
I mean, to turn that game back, that was so strong by them. They came out absolutely huge in that last team fight. So, I mean, looking into the next series, looking into the next game, what do we need to see change? Because I feel like the draft from MNM wasn't really that weak. Maybe something with a little bit more engaged, maybe something better than the Zoe, like you were saying, was maybe the weakness. But for Diabolus, I think they can kind of stick with what they had. That worked so well for them.
It really did. And like you said, they played around the win conditions really well, and they just hang on, know that the other team, they need to step forward. We can just hold back here because they don't actually have the range to siege our base without committing into a choke point. And then once you commit into a choke point, like we said, the team fight from Diabolus is absolutely insane. And yeah, I feel like it's really tough. I really more go back to the moments where we saw MNM find an early lead and then kind of give over too much gold, because if you have 2-3 extra K gold there, then the triple kill in the end for Yusa doesn't happen, right? You just end the game right there. I'm talking about when instead of picking up the first turret, you overextend trying to kill Kerberos. And a couple of these macro plays that just didn't really work out, giving up a mid lane turret for free, all those little things, for me at least, snowballed into Diabolus still clinging onto the game. And if Diabolus clings onto the game and Yusa gets space, it's over.
It was a diamond, but it was a diamond in the rough, that first game for MNM. We're going to cut to a quick break, and when we're back with game 2 of this series to find out whether or not MNM have what it takes to go up against the Devil. See you in a second.